Hello everyone, welcome to CloudSEK knowledge sharing session, which we conduct on every Wednesday at 6. Beyond this day, particular topics about cybersecurity, threat intelligence, infra, product management, user design, and everything which we CloudSEK deal about. Today we have Johnu, our user interaction designer, who will be talking about building the building blocks, an intro to design systems. Over to you, Johnu.
Thank you, Sahil. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the knowledge sharing session by CloudSEK. So I'll give a quick introduction about me. My name is Johnu James. I am working as a user experience designer in CloudSEK for the product XVigil. So today I'll be giving an introduction to design systems and its benefits from a business perspective and a designer or a developer perspective. So at least some of you doubt why I named the session title Building the Building Blocks, but I'm not answering it now. I hope that gets clarified along with the session. Let's move on to the content I'm talking about today. So today I'll be discussing about what is a design system, how design systems can scale digital production, business benefits of having a design system, and how to maximize the design system resources. So let's start with what is a design system. Design system is a tool developed by designers and developers for a digital product. It consists of reusable components that are guided by a set of standards. This design system will be reused to build and maintain applications. These are the simple descriptions you can find over the internet. To make it more simple, I can explain it by a story. Let's think of a cake shop making blueberry cheesecakes. What all are needed to bake the cake? Of course, the ingredient for sure. So which includes blueberry layer, cheese, and cake layer, cake base. I'm not sure whether this is the actual way which is making a cake because I've never baked a cake. I just simply made a technical and casual kind of topic. So other materials that we might require will be oven, the cake cover, those kind of things. So the cake business started with a blueberry cheesecake as the selling product, a chef to cook, and a bunch of customers. Slowly, the shop started getting more business and customers because the cake is good. The shop owner has reached a stage where they have to make more cakes to meet the requirements. Also, the brand is now famous. They can scale up the business too. So, what could be the efficient way to create resources to meet the sales and requirements? One option is to hire more chefs to make more blueberry cheesecake. Imagine one chef can make 3 cakes, then hiring 5 chefs can make 3 into 5, 15 cakes. So is this the correct path for the shop owner to build the more sales and the requirements? So instead of this path, they wrote a cake rules book which maintained the rules for their ingredients, the recipe they follow to bake, the size and dimensions of individual layers, the process of baking, criteria for customer satisfaction, and even more rules. So let's try to see what was happening before the cake rules book. The cakes were inconsistent with their taste, they were different in size and shape. The entire process of making the cake and delivering them to the customers was slow. Some of the customers were not happy since the same quality was not maintained with each delivery. Also, the scaling of business was not very easy. And let's see what happened after bringing up the cake rules book. The chef started focusing more on individual components and tried to bring an assembly line style of baking cakes. This in turn brought more consistency to the baked cakes. They were able to make faster deliveries. Customers remained happy since the quality was maintained. Scaling the business is much a easier task now. So now they are celebrating for more sales. Now they are making more products. So now let's come back to the same slide I've shown before. The cake rules book is very much similar to a design system. All components of a UI and the guidelines to use them will be defined in a design system. Since this collection is guided by standards, developers and designers will have an easier time building new products. Designers don't have to guess every time to build a page or a component, and developers don't have to develop the same from scratch every time. Basically, they don't they won't be reinventing the wheel each time. Thus, the consistency between the products can also be maintained. This system will be maintained and updated with versions by designers and developers. Actually, there is not only a single type of design system. The right design system for an organization varies based on different aspects. It depends on how many people will be using the design system, what is their profile, how many products needs to be aligned with the system, on which all platforms, which all technologies, degree of consistency required across the products. These kind of things affects what system we have to pick up for our digital product. Also, the working mechanism between a design system and individual team varies based on the type of design system that they pick. Let's think of one particular model, which is centralized model. In centralized model, one team is in charge of the system and makes it evolve. This team will facilitate the work of the other teams and has to be like very close to them to be sure that the system covers most of their needs. But it's different in a distributed model. Several people of several teams are in charge of the system. The adoption of the system is quicker because everyone feels involved, but it also needs the team leaders that will keep an overall vision of it. In each case, it's better if everyone participates and makes suggestions to improve the system in order to create a sense of membership. So this is how a design system works. So the central design system will be accessed by different product teams. They can access all the components, the design styles, the style sheet, the guidelines, everything created and use it with the product they are building. So you can consider a design system to be a product itself with multiple versions. It can scale up to include more guidelines overlaying the product. We can't say that a design system is just a pattern library or style guides of a digital product. For example, this is a design system created by Shopify. It's named Polaris. This is like one of the best design system I have found. Maybe you will find better. More references are available. So actually, this particular design system is combined of guidelines for the content, design, components, and experience of the products created under Shopify. So the content guidelines help to understand how to use language to design a more thoughtful product experience. So you can go to polaris.shopify.com to find the same design system. It's public. And the design guidelines under this particular design system help to learn about the approach towards visual elements of the UI with purpose. So actually this is more similar to the style guide of a design system. Components and its guidelines help to understand using components as a building blocks as developing new products and features. This is very much similar to the pattern library. So the pattern library and style guides are the minimal things that a design system requires. So they have one more category, which is the experience, are the guidance for crafting specific product experiences at Shopify. So we can never say that a design system will only have style guides and pattern library. They will have more things like content and experience. And it depends on the organization which is building this particular design system. So this is how Shopify has built their design system. There are some more references that you can go through to see how different organizations have set up their design system. So some are, let me show you that. So these are some more design systems which you can refer, which is available publicly. Spectrum is a design system created by Adobe. IBM Design Language is a design system created by IBM. Garden is a design system created by Zendesk. Lightning design system is by Salesforce. So Atlassian.design, you can see the design system of Atlassian. Material.io is one design system created by Google. Google have a lot of design system created, but Material is one among them. So now let's move to the next topic, how design systems can scale the digital production. Similar to the automotive industry in the early 1900s, digital system is also in a phase of moving towards the assembly line mechanism. Design system replace slow bespoke methods and operationalize a factory model for digital products. Many digital product teams still build product by pixel method. So building in such a mechanism will be like a totally slow process. To build completely a product takes a lot of time, maybe even years. So, but in an increasing number of organizations, they found the benefits of design system, they adopted to it. So, but in an increasing number of organizations, design system are now they enable the designers and developers to draw from an archive of components with guidance for when and how to use each piece or each component. Some nascent systems only contain assets and documentations for designers. This itself greatly improves design efficiency. In another case, a fully functional design system powers the entire product's workflow from ideation till development. Teams will be able to create and update digital experiences or products much more quickly. These design systems reduce repeatable work until digital products are built with roughly 70% reusable component and 30% bespoke work. More than any other initiative in an organization, digital systems have an immense potential to steer efficiency and excellence into hyperdrive. The jump from no design system to a nascent design system could boost the product's development efficiency by at least 25%. This is how it happens. So the design systems reduces duplicative work and costly duos with a shared visual or coded language for design and development. That means there is more time to market the product. It actually accelerates the design workflows and development of workflows. It will be easy to onboard and collaborate developers and designers into the team. Also, design systems scales consistency, accessibility, regulatory compliance, and user-tested patterns across teams and projects, which in turn reduces the compliance and regulatory risk. So, fractured customers' experiences will be much less compared. The technical and the design depths from each team will be much less once the design system comes into picture. To identify the potential benefits for your organization, it's better to begin by exploring the status quo. So you can think of how much do the designers and the developers currently reuse and build from scratch. To find out, identify a common UI element used across multiple products. A configuration screen or a table component, for example, you can take how many sprints and months did it take to finalize this particular component or to design, test, or maintain it. Then you can check how much delay or friction happens in design to development handoffs. You can check the number of emails or messages or calls spent searching for the assets and details, and plus like extra meetings happens for this particular case. Also, you can think of the QA failures happening for this particular component, or the QA is reporting more accessibility issues for these components. Or it also depends on how many products or platforms or modules across the organization's product portfolio currently look and behave inconsistently with one another. Actually, this was an issue we used to face long back, but we are fixing it like in a lot better way now. Checking out these will help you identify the potential benefits of having a design system. So another way to identify the potential benefits is looking outside. You can anchor the projections on ROI indicators like the return on investment from other organizations when they introduced a design system to their company. So actually LinkedIn saw a designer efficiency by 150% after implementing a design system. Developers at apartments.com finished a 6 to 8 month projects in 2 weeks because they were reusing the components they have already built. So it was pretty much easy for them to build a new product. Teams at Vodafone saw a 40% increase in design productivity plus faster and easier onboarding for newer members. So these are only some examples from many success stories. So the next topic is maximizing the design system resources. Building and maintaining a powerful design system is not a one-off project. It's a new systematic way of working that unites products teams, and how everything functions together. Return on investment can be improved strategically by supporting designers and developers to build the first design system. They can spend as much as 20% of their time working on a first version of the design system. This keeps the cost low and slowly ramps up the support and staff as the system pays for itself. So, this is how the process usually goes. A few designers and developers collaborate to audit projects and select reusable components from that. So they agree on first round of guidelines and documentation. They organize the libraries. Then they will establish a central site or a platform to host the system so that everyone can access it, or the people that you meant to access it, they can access it from there. They develop a loose plan on how to govern, grow, and evolve the design system over the coming years to meet the needs of each product and its use cases. So they select one or more products to adopt the new design system, and they slowly do that process, and they will be able to migrate products to be using that design system. Throughout this process, though, actually there are chances to make costly mistakes. Helping builders to avoid them can be one of the biggest help in creating a healthy, functioning design system. These are some do's and don'ts while we create a new design system. Don't try to build a big comprehensive design system all in one go. This can take years to accomplish. Meanwhile, the design system or crew becomes disconnected from the product teams and loses sight of whether the system is actually meeting anyone's needs. By the time it's finished, it might become irrelevant. Do encourage to take advantage of an ongoing product effort, a new product launch, or a redesign. Initially, ask teams to spend a little extra time and effort to make each new component reusable. Add documentations and foundations, and use that to create the first iteration of the design system. Once the first iteration launches, devs and designers can upkeep a tiny part of their day-to-day work. Don't spend too much resources on initial preparations, which comes along with the first point. Do foster a design system community. Support a few passionate designers, developers, and product leaders as they head up a design system crew and grow grassroots supports. Make room for them to commit as much as 20% of their daily workload to the effort. Later, when the system becomes more sophisticated, the organization will find the benefits and merit the cost of a full time design system product manager, designer, and developer. Actually, that is all I wanted to discuss for today. If anybody has any queries or doubts on the topics discussed, you can ask me. I would love to help.
I think there is a question on the question section. I think the chat section. We can have some example also, right? We can if how the design example like Google's material design, how it is, how it looks like, something like that.
So actually, the design system by Google, which is Material.io, is a public one which we can use with it's since it is publicly available, we can use it to along with the products that we create. So it's a free one. It's not necessary that all the Google's products are using the Material System UI. If you check Google Dio or any other products, it's not the same UI that we see it with Material.io.
Yeah, we do have another.
Okay, the next question is from Akshit Kumar, right? So the design system involved technical side like the architecture of the system, technical stack, or it's just UI. So basically, most of the design system that are public now involves the UI part only and the UI code base. So it is basically the front end plus the design phase. The designed components will be created into UI part, and these becomes like accessible. And other things which are included, if you check Shopify, it's just not pattern libraries or style guides. It includes even like how the content or the language used in the product. So it can include that also. It's not going more than that technically. Yeah, actually, I can share the Shopify's design system links and the other referrals I have created. I can share it.
Hey, Johnu, I have just one question.
Yep.
So, when you design, let's say you are solving a problem.
Yep.
So basically, you think of the architecture, you think of the design, the different components, and then you come to the tools that you can use for to solve it, right? I mean, mainly from the backend side.
Yep.
And, so in design systems, is it kind of opposite, where the central place is the design system, and then we figure out how to solve the UI or UX problems there?
So basically, it's about creating flows. Let's imagine about one particular use case. So let's take one example like a minimal design system. So a minimal design system at least should contain a pattern library or a style guide. So let's think of the design system that we might have. Like under like each monitor that we have, there is a flow that the user experiences, right? Let's imagine our SSL scanner or app misconfiguration, how people go through that particular flow should have a consistency, right? So,
Uh-huh.
and the components we use in the UI is consistent with each module. So these things we have to document it and keep it as a design system. So this is the flow and the components, the guidelines to implement it will be added to the design system, not the technical part of it. Like
Mm.
so, imagine if you're introducing a new module, how the flow should be. It has to be very similar to how what all things we have already done.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
So
if you
basically, we
yeah,
evaluate our flow and then see if the design system fits.
yes.
Oh, okay. And once the design system is finalized, we figure out how to abstract out those different components.
Yep, actually, a design system is not a single time development thing. So let's imagine a new module getting developed, and that particular module is not getting accommodated with the current design system. So in
Hmm.
that case, we will need to update the design system to accommodate these things also, like the new module and their requirements.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. Thanks, man.
Yeah. So how you handle versioning in design systems? It's the same way. Let's imagine there are multiple cases where we need to update the design systems. So the existing design system, if it's not accommodating the new module or the new requirements coming in from the stakeholders, we will need to update that design system. Example, let's think of a drop down. So the current product only has to list 50 elements in a drop down. So in the new requirements, we have to implement a search plus to accommodate more than 50 elements. And if we need to include infinite scroll, those kind of requirements comes in, we will need for sure to update this particular drop down. So individual elements will have a version, and whenever we update that particular version of that particular product, we will be updating the design system versions. So individually we can update the components, or like it can happens as like different sections, and we'll be updating each component. So the working mechanism for individual design system varies with organizations. So if it's like a public one, we can't simply update a design system whenever we want. So basically, maybe every 3 months or 2 months. So Shopify, if you open Shopify, Polaris, you will see that the Polaris is happening. They are bringing in a new change to the product, to the design system. So they are updating it. So let me share the links to you first. Are there any other queries?
Okay, there is one by Ishwar. One second. I'll move everything to answer. Yeah.
Okay. Is design system same as system design, right?
Yep. Yep.
So I'm not sure. Like system design is more towards a software's architecture building, right? In
If,
that case, I'm not sure. Again, this is going.
if anyone wants to raise their hands and come to stage, they can talk also. They can just click the raise your hand and talk. More of Johnu, actually, if you can actually take example, if you can share your screen with one of the design system and talk about it, then also it would be great.
Yep, yep, yep.
One second, Aditya.
So what I understand, of course, system design and design system are both entirely different. Design system is a kind of a new thing which has evolved from like 5 to 6 years, and system design is more like a backend kind of thing wherein we actually go into depth of architecturing the complete stack of a web app we are going to design. So it includes everything, how from the DB design to what kind of DB gonna be used, and justifying what servers you are gonna use, what RAM we would be, how much RAM would be used, and all the stuffs which are mostly like web app related. And it's even system design is a term visually. So when you get into software development as a fresher, people usually don't ask you in interviews anything about system design, but it's more like a something which you learn when you go through towards designing scalable systems. And uh, and system design helps you in that actually to design a scalable system to be, I think that's most specific.
Thank you, Aditya. Johnu, are you actually going to share, or can we?
No, I'm sharing the referrals which I've added with the presentation into the chat box. From the design systems from Adobe IBM.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. The links are being shared on the chat.
So actually, the more mature design systems, from my perspective, are Salesforce design system. Actually, one among that, and Polaris is also a mature design system, where the area they cover over the UI is more compared to Material and any other design system. So you can refer more on that. I'm sharing the links.
There's one more question.
Design. So actually, Android uses design system, material design system. No, actually, the material design system. It's not necessary that a material design system is only used by Android. Actually, if you check on material.io, you can get the code which can be used across multiple technologies and platforms. You can use it for React. You can use it for any other technology. So Flutter, it is available. It's not only limited to Android.
Okay, cool, cool. If no one has any other questions, we can wind up the session.
Or if people have any more queries, you can email me. I'll provide my email. I'll for sure reply to that email.
Sure. Also, we have the community.exhibition.com. So we can ask the questions in the email section there.
Yep.
Cool, cool, cool. Thank you guys. Thank you all for joining. Johnu, thank you.